it's stupid art, but it's still art that means something to someone. So like, let's not just flippantly hit the delete button on everything.
How many hours do you spend playing just one game? Considering how much time, you go to the movies, you pay like $20, you get like 20 hours in a game, you're like, oh man, I got scammed.
Pirate Software, since the formation of the Stop Killing Games movement, he's been very outspoken for his contempt, his dislike for the Stop Killing Games movement.
And the point of this petition is just to get people talking about it, thinking about it, and sending a message to the broader gaming industry. It's not okay to, take away things that people have paid for.
You know what they call something that does actually specifically detail every little part of it? It's a bill. And that's what they push. That's what they push to the legislation,
When it comes to Pirate Software, I honestly think this is just an ego thing, man. Like, I think this guy's ego is out of control, and he's like, I didn't come up with this thing that everybody loves, so I hate it, and I'm gonna nitpick it into a million little pieces.
Gentlemen, should we talk about the major topic of the last couple of weeks? Hitting it kind of late, but it's still very relevant. I think that it all comes to head at the end of July is when we're going to really find out what happens with this. But I'm of course referring to the Stop Killing Games initiative. To clarify for anyone watching who's not caught up, the Stop Killing Games initiative was started by Mr. Ross Scott, who is like his handle is Accursed Farms. The initiative basically, there's a few bullet points, but the general gist is that they aim to make it illegal to delete a game, like leave a game in an unplayable state to the point where no one can play it. That because that violates consumer rights. At least according to common sense, it does. You pay for a game, you pay for a game, they don't specify like an expiry date. It's not a rental, it's not a service. You would think that you are entitled and have rights to that game. In the current industry, that's not the case. I think just yesterday, actually, it was announced that Anthem is being shut down permanently. That game is only 6 years old. That's not even like a very, very old game. That's that game.
I'm honestly surprised it lasted for 6 years.
But, so am I. But like, it came out in 2019, I believe. So it's not even
had a rough start. A really rough start. They must have either improved it, or there must be like a really diehard community for it.
Look, I'm not sad. I'm not sad that it's going, but it is going.
Imagine being one of the people who bought it like a week before it shut down. Hey, I kind of like this game. Why didn't I play this game earlier? Oh.
It's not like anytime soon, though. I think it's either the end of the. I think it might be the end of the year. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, Anthem is supposed to.
At least most companies, they just shut off the servers. But I've heard of, I think EA is notorious for this, just like removing games from your library, just pulling them completely out of your library.
That's craziness.
Yeah.
Thanks for your money. We appreciate the money, but this game has been delisted. Like, dang, like
we could refund you, but we won't.
Click here to tip 10%.
Right, yeah.
Buy our next game, the game you just played, 2. There's 2 petitions that I'm aware of connected to Stop Killing Games. One of them is in the UK, and it's I think it requires 100k signatures. Sorry, I'm in the UK, so I signed that one almost immediately upon hearing that exists. If you're not in the UK, it's not legal to sign that. That's a criminal offence. There is also like an EU. Like European Union version. That one requires 1 million signatures, obviously, being across Europe. It came to the beginning of July, and Ross Scott, the founder, uploaded the video basically conceding defeat. At least that's how the video came across. It was a video basically saying like, I think we're not gonna reach the requirement for these signatures, but this is like me falling on my sword. This is like the last attempt to garner some attention toward the movement. I'm going to make this last video while it's still July. There's a month left. And the video went insanely viral. The petitions had like the biggest boost they've ever had. The EU petition went from 500k to 1 million signatures in days. And it's same with the UK one. I think it was around half, and it also passed the threshold in a couple of days. There's a few caveats surrounding that though, because like I said before, it's bad to fake sign these, which is easy to do. You can just, use a VPN or whatever, or just and then just fake all of the details. And if you do those, each signature gets verified, and if they're not verified, they don't count. So every signature that was just displayed on the screens on the website may have been like, before they were checked. So I think based on like kids watching YouTube and shit, I genuinely think a lot, like possibly like a quarter or maybe more of the signatures on both petitions are non-genuine. I think there's a good fraction, maybe like up to a third or around that area, that are in some way non-genuine.
It's easily possible, like 25 to 30%.
In some way, not necessarily fake, but like maybe they like a misspelling or a like an error, or they are fake, or someone's just not.
But it was supposed to get 1 million, right?
Yeah, and it did, but it's not.
And it went over that, right?
Oh, it's well over now. I think it, as of time of recording this video, it might be on 1.2, 1.3.
Okay. So there's a bit of a safe space between there, right? Yeah.
Scott. Sorry, Ross said
200K could be fake, and they'd still get it.
Yeah.
So hopefully.
That's what Ross said. Ross said in his video. He said that he spoke to someone who deals with this kind of stuff, and like they know the likely, like, the statistics of how many are probably non-genuine. And he said that like 1.3 mil is good, 1.4 mil is probably safe. Like definitely crossing the threshold at that point.
Yeah, I'd say worst case would be like 40% of them.
Worst case, yeah, surely, absolutely worst case.
But I'd say bare minimum would be like 25%.
I come at this from a different angle, which is like just to give context for anybody out there listening that's like, why would anyone be against this? Why would someone be against keeping games alive? There are very public proponents against this initiative that claim like, oh, it will increase the cost of game development, or it'll put undue development taxes on these creators that that would otherwise not. It'll strain already strained studios to have to keep their game alive, and man, that's just a horrible thing. But I think of video games as like art. Like I think of them as our culture. Like I think they're like something that we collectively share in
undeniably,
and enjoy. So the idea that like they can just be deleted without any repercussions is kind of insulting, I think, to our community. It's kind of insulting to our family and our friends, the people who enjoy video games. And it's also just super disrespectful to like the people who made it, like the people who spent 10 years making Anthem, just to be like, sorry, bro, it wasn't viable to keep some servers offline, so we deleted all that shit you spent your time on. All those weekends that this artist spent with, not spending time with your family, we just deleted all your work. Like, what the hell? Like, that's just, I don't know. I come at this from like, games are art, and we should protect art. And it costs money and time and resources to do that. But so what? Like, we should just do that because it's the right thing to do. It's our culture. I don't know.
Games are like one of the ultimate forms of art. You got actual art, like images, drawings. You have music. You have story. You have writing.
You have Godzilla twerking with 110s on in Fortnite.
I mean, it is art.
Art. It's art.
Art. It is art.
Yeah. It is.
They're experiences, just like a book or a movie or something. It's something that you feel, and they make you think. And you experience something that you couldn't from any other form of media, and it's interactive. There's so many different kinds of games too.
Also, think about it like this, Peter. Like Sean gave us the example of like Godzilla twerking in the bikini or whatever, but like even though like it's easy to dismiss that as like stupid flippant stuff, I guarantee you there is some kid out there that is a core memory for them. Like that is something they geeked out with their parents.
It is.
About it. And it's like their it's an inside joke to their family of like, oh man, Godzilla's twerking on the Christmas tree again or whatever. And it's like yeah, it's stupid art, but it's still art that means something to someone. So like, let's not just flippantly hit the delete button on everything like that. Yeah, that's my perspective. But I mean, let's be real. Not all art is equal, but it's all art. So I mean, it's like it's all.
I'd even say it's one of the most enjoyed forms of art by time, because how long can you look at a painting? How many times can you listen to a song? How many times can you read a book, watch a TV show? Versus how many hours do you spend playing just one game? There's so much time that you put into a game, and it's because there's so much in it, right? It's not just empty. And there's a lot of value from that too. Like people will say, oh, this game isn't a $50 game, or this is more like a $20 game or something like that. But considering how much time, you go to the movies, you pay like $20, you get like 20 hours in a game, you're like, oh man, I got scammed.
Yeah.
It's just completely different expectations, you know what I mean?
Right. But yeah, I think the TLDR for us, Sean, is that if we were across the pond, we would be signing that shit. Like we would be absolutely signing that petition. So kudos on you for putting your name on it. I wish we could be I wish we could be on the right side of history, but we're Americans.
You're
and
American.
We do everything.
Well, I'm glad we're all on the same page. I mean, for me, it's just absolutely a no-brainer. I think, like you said, these things that are core memories for people, these things that have artistic value, even if it's the Crew, which I remember being a terrible game, or even if it's Anthem, which I remember being just a terrible slop game, they still have value. Like they do. You can't argue it. Like you really can't argue it at all. Anthem looks great. Do you remember when they showed that E3 demo, which may have been a little bit fake, but remember when they showed that E3 demo and it just blew all our minds? Even in that
people were
now,
hype about that game. I remember seeing that. I'm like, that does look pretty cool.
But even now, like the game looked like that. The whole Iron Man flying around thing, they nailed it in that game. It looks cool as fuck. I haven't played it, or at least if I did, it wasn't very long. But that just looks cool. That's some form of value, and the fact that it's going to be deleted to the point where just no one is allowed to play it anymore.
Right. And notice how this argument doesn't track for any other form of art, right? Like we don't permanently delete movies, or we don't permanently delete paintings just because maintaining
streaming would like to talk to you about the movies thing, by the way.
That's true, actually. That's a good point.
Twitch streams? Do you consider Twitch streams art?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think I probably would, and not all equally again, but I mean, it is part of our culture. It is part of our community, and I think if it could be preserved in some meaningful way, I think it should be.
You know how I mentioned that that Ross's video in the end of June, start of July, went kind of viral and did really well. There's an external factor in there that not only led to the video doing extremely well, but it also probably was the reason for the petitions getting passed in the first place, and that's Pirate Software. Pirate Software, since the formation of the Stop Killing Games movement, he's been very outspoken for his contempt, his dislike for the Stop Killing Games movement, and he has been since the beginning. He made a couple of videos, 2 or 3 videos 10 months ago, crapping all over this movement with his own, his opinions.
He used to work at Blizzard, by the way.
Oh, did he used to work at Blizzard? Yep. Okay.
He doesn't talk about it much.
Of course, I forgot. Yeah, sorry.
Just thought you should know.
How can I forget? But yeah, he's one of the most outspoken people about it. It was back in the day when it was a thing. Sometimes he was quite mean about it. Like we know Pirate Software. He has a way about him, the way he speaks to people, and I don't know, the way he talks about other people.
Very condescending.
Yeah,
I think
those videos have come back up now. I don't know if it's fair to say that it's his fault that the petitions weren't doing so well. I don't know. It's really hard to work out how much impact he would have had on the petitions. He definitely could have passed them if he was positive, because he has that much of a reach. But whether he killed the program or whatever, I don't fucking know. There's one argument he made that I think is actually, in my opinion, is valid. It's not good enough to make me believe that the initiative shouldn't go through. It's not good enough, but that's the fact that the petition is probably, the actual movement itself is probably a little bit too vague.
I mean, there's no doubt it's vague. But yeah. I think that's not the point of it. The point is to make the topic come up and to bring attention to it and to focus on it, because it's the job of the government to make the laws about it and stuff. And the people are just trying to show that, what their opinion is on it. And I feel like it would hurt it if you made the petition very, very specific, because it might be too narrow, because then you'll have people going, okay, I support this, but this part right here about this, I don't know about. I feel like the whole point of it is to get the ball rolling, start something, and then work out the details later. Right now, you're just showing how much how much support you have for the cause, and that how many people care about it, and that it's not something that just a small percentage are worried about. This is a big issue. We need to focus on this, and then later you can hash out the details. You can work on it. They're not lawyers. They don't know about writing specifics, and like I said, even if they did, I think it'd be a negative if they were. So I do agree it's vague, but at the same time, I think that helps it more than hurts it.
That makes sense. Actually, I didn't think of it I didn't think of it that way. That does make sense.
I think that's by design. I think this is an initiative that's meant not to be a comprehensive solution. It's meant to just move the needle. It's meant to draw attention to this issue and just get people looking at it and talking about it. And I just want to say, like,
yeah, I think Ross literally says that. I think that is, yeah. I think you're.
Yeah, it's really incredible to me that you have people like Pirate Software out there saying, "Oh, this petition really sucks because it's not a completely comprehensive solution to all of our problems." And it's like, well,
what a cop out.
Like, of course, yeah, what a cop out. It's like, no, of course this isn't a comprehensive solution to all of our problems. Like that's not the point of this petition. The point of this petition is just to get people talking about it, thinking about it, and sending a message to the broader gaming industry. It's not okay to, take away things that people have paid for. It's like, I don't know. It's wild to me. I mean, also anecdotally, and I'm really, really curious to hear your y'all's thoughts on this. Like, we've already seen, and this is something we'll probably talk about here in a minute, but we've already seen big companies pushing back against this initiative, right? Like, we've already seen big companies going, "Whoa, this isn't going to look great. This isn't going to be achievable for us." But just imagine how much more prickly EA would be if this initiative used FIFA as an example, right? Like if they went in being like, here's how we would make FIFA 2026 much more robust for players. Like EA would lose their minds. They would be like, oh my God, they're coming for our microtransactions. So it's like, I think, I completely agree with what Peter's saying here. The vagueness is by design here. It is meant to be just a conversation starting point, and it is really sinister of Pirate Software to be like, I'm not going to support this because it doesn't fully flesh out every single solution for every single game. Well, screw you, dude. No, of course it's not going to be that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, you know what they call something that does actually specifically detail every little part of it. It's a bill, and that's what they push. That's what they push to the legislation. They'll make a form of this and they'll vote on it and they'll work on it and they'll fix it and they'll tweak it. That's their job. That's not our job. Our job is to raise our hands and shout and say, "Hey, we want you to do something about this."
Yeah.
The more specific you get, the more divided the support becomes. And until it's at a point where you no longer have the support. Now you have this half which thinks that we should do it this way. And there's what we're doing, we're all banding together over a similar cause, right? And the specifics are really not as important as the fact that something is done.
Right.
Yeah,
the initiative
I completely agree.
The initiative is titled "Stop Killing Video Games." It could just as easily have been titled "Save Our Art." I mean, save this art. This is art worth protecting and saving. And we don't have all the solutions and answers, but I want to, Sean, I want to dig into your brain a little bit because I want to say something. I don't normally like to wade into the waters of controversy, but let me do my best impersonation here. I'm going to say when it comes to Pirate Software and Thor, oh man, I apologize if you have to edit this in post. You may not. Maybe you just want to get me totally raised.
Is this going to be British? Is that why?
No. I think that when it comes to Pirate Software, I honestly think this is just an ego thing, man. Like I think this guy's ego is out of control, and he's like, I didn't come up with this thing that everybody loves, so I hate it, and I'm gonna nitpick it into a million little pieces because I'm so angry. I don't know. You might have to cut all of my little unhinged rant out, but I do kind of get
honestly,
vibes from...
I do get that vibe a little bit. It's funny you say that because that's exactly.
I feel like just him in a nutshell, honestly.
Yeah,
right.
I feel like that's his thing about everything. Like the whole Roach incident, absolutely admitted no wrongdoing. The worst he did is said, "Oh yeah, everyone made mistakes." Like that whole thing. He just doubled down.
Yeah.
Like the further you push, the more he resists. Like it's just complete narcissism right there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just speculating here, but all of his criticisms that I've seen are very nitpicky. They're very nothing burgers, and I'm like, dang, dude, we're trying to save art here. Like, either get on board or get out of the way, man. Like, what are you doing?
Not
And
just
it really-
just the industries. Like,
yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
it's a
He
bizarre
just-
thing to object
Yeah.
against. It's a really bizarre
Right.
thing to object against.
I mean,
Yeah.
the companies going against it is just, of
makes sense.
course, obviously they're gonna
Yes, that makes sense.
anything that
Because-
costs them money
Yeah.
or takes any sort of effort, they're gonna go against. But
like
just
a
the fact that
consumer,
he's
like a
parroting
player,
their same. Oh, and they're so
Yeah.
bad. Like their reasoning. Like, let me go through them. One of them is that it's going to be so expensive. Oh my god! It's just like
Just from
like,
the devs?
No, it's not. Like,
Yeah.
it's going to be dirt cheap because all you're doing is you're just letting people, replace your servers with whatever. Like, you already have the code there for your servers and stuff. You just get up, you're like,
Right,
okay.
and-
Here's the software that we use to run our servers. Now
Yeah.
you have it, and you can run the servers. Like,
And as-
boom,
as Ross
it's already
specifies-
working. You're just giving someone else the keys.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. As Ross specified, the movement is not retroactive. He nails this down all the time. He's like, I'm not talking. Even games that are out like now, like ideally, yes, but this movement is mainly for games in the future, which means developers will have to have time to consider this and think like, it's about having a plan. You have to have an end of life plan with full transparency, lots of notice, and if possible, ideally, always don't shut down the game. But that's the whole movement. It's in the name. It's not retroactive. It's not about causing people trouble. It's not about making things more expensive. It's just find a way. Like, come on, you're multi-billion-dollar companies. There's lots of smart people, lots and lots and lots of very, very smart. I really don't care about them. They probably don't even know their names. These board members, but there's lots of very smart people in there who can find a way to make games playable, even if they're live service.
Yeah,
I just want.
they're not in
I
PR
say-
though, because these excuses
Oh, yeah.
they're giving are so absolute
Yeah.
bull. Like oh, we designed the game from the ground up to be online only. It's like people aren't asking for single player; they just want the game to keep running and for someone else to run it. Like they're like, oh, it's gonna cost us so much money to run these servers. It's like, no, people will run their own servers. Like, you don't have to do anything. You just let them. You just
Let them. Yeah.
It's any reasoning I've heard is so just it doesn't have any sort of solid ground. What's another one? Oh yeah, hackers. Like, oh, we can't protect you from hackers and stuff
That's
like that.
the
It's like,
easiest fix
well,
of all time. That's the worst
Yeah.
one of them all, because that's the
Yeah,
worst
yeah,
one of them all.
Yeah,
That's the-
yeah.
that's not-
If hackers can get in, then it's your
Oh.
code, buddy. Like,
That's terrible.
How come they were fine? Hackers couldn't get in when you're running it, but now they'll magically be
They'll get in
getting
now?
because you don't have your magic spells casting over it. Bullshit. Like,
And if
we can't make a safe community for you people anymore. Oh yeah, you're doing such a good job with moderating it before.
And let's say
I
they
would
let's say they hand over like the server binaries or however it works to other people, then it's not the developer's problem anymore anyway. So why do they care?
It's not even their
if hackers
problem
come in,
anymore.
it's
Yeah,
not your,
they
you're
passed
not
it off,
doing
like-
you passed it off. It's
Like,
not your
what are
fucking
people
issue.
gonna do? Sue them for it's not. Yeah, it's not their game. It's
Out
like
of your
I
hands,
remember when.
completely out of your hands.
And then if you
Right.
consider how much
Yeah.
more modding you can do and
Yeah,
how
exactly. I
much more
didn't even mention
customization
that,
you
like,
can do,
the game
you
would
could increase
change.
the user experience. Yeah, I haven't heard one good reason against it. Right?
Yeah.
Like, not
I wanna-
one. They're-
Peter,
So
I got to go back to
flimsy.
something you said. There's something you
Yeah.
said that like I completely agree with. Like, we're seeing a situation where, like, the argument you just pointed out of like keeping gamers safe is like, people like Thor and these companies are like, how will we protect gamers? How are we if this initiative goes through? How are we going to protect people? And it's like the level of ridiculousness in that claim, in that statement, is so funny. Like, think about how many people work at EA or these huge game companies. Think about how many people at Blizzard are on staff whose their whole job is designing as many microtransactions and systems to squeeze people for as much money as possible out of battle passes, out of cosmetics, they have entire teams whose whole goal is just to psychologically manipulate players into spending as much money as possible. And they have the audacity to be like, we're trying to protect people. Our goal is to keep people safe. And it's
Yo,
like,
shut the fuck
bro,
up.
you have entire departments on monetizing children. Like, do not tell me
Really?
about keeping people
Really,
safe.
really,
like
really.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is some bullshit. Like,
And-
so, excuse my language, that is some bullshit. Like, it's absolutely
Since you
ridiculous.
mentioned monetization, that's another aspect of it entirely. So if you close down these live service games, you could potentially take thousands of someone's dollars away, like these whales. And when they made these purchases, there was no expiration. That's not a service. That's not a rental. They paid for these microtransactions the same way they paid for the game. But like,
even if you didn't, even if you didn't pay it for a single microtransaction, you still paid for the game.
In a weird way, I have this thought here, and I want y'all to be honest with me, your thoughts, because tell me, like, Clyde, you're drinking too much Pepsi Zero over there. I feel like in a weird way, this initiative actually also protects the brand itself. Like, for example, think of a game like think of it like one of these games that got taken offline forever, never to come back. The one that my brain is currently spitting out is WildStar. A lot of WoW devs went off and made WildStar, this really great MMO. A lot of people liked it. It came and went in the flash of a pan. Incredible art, really fun gameplay, but it didn't succeed. And by just hitting the delete button on WildStar and just that studio being like, well, it's gone forever, bye. By deleting that, you basically condemn that IP to doom forever. It can never, ever come back because the studio is just thrown it in the trash can and it's gone forever. However, if there is some way of preserving it or keeping some form of it offline or letting people be able to play it, that kind of bakes in the chance of that franchise coming back someday. It kind of bakes in the chance that people will discover it years later, and it can have a moment 10 years, 20 years later. People go, whoa, there should be a revival of this. But that moment can't happen if the whole thing has been deleted forever from the internet. And I think in some weird way, this movement also protects the brand itself. It protects the game itself at a time when many publishers or many game developers are just tempted to go, we can save an extra $5K a year by deleting the servers, delete it, move on. It actually, in a weird way, this also protects the game. If you delete Anthem forever, then we know no one else is ever going to discover Anthem. But maybe in 10 years, 20 years, someone finds Anthem and they go, this shit is really cool. Why don't we start talking about it and share it with their server? And then people start playing it again. And it's like, I think discoverability is something that's kind of baked into this it's baked into preservation. But yeah, it bums me out that there's so many studios these days going, all that work we put into it, or I guess all that work that those people we paid put into it, just delete the whole thing. It really bums me out.
Exactly. Just like Concord. And okay, hear me out.
Jesus Christ.
but Concord, it was, what was that, less than 2 weeks, and they just pulled it and it's gone.
When I got onto the controversy of this after it had already shut down, and I was watching people playing it with B-roll in the background, I genuinely had moments where I was like, don't dislike. I had moments where I was like, I kind of want to play that. That looks fun. I was like,
let's go.
I was like, that looked kind of like, I don't know. I feel like I'd go on it for an hour and while the skill-based matchmaking is still easy, and then have some fun.
Yeah, that's what I thought when I saw some of the previews for it, and then I played the beta or whatever, and we're like, what is this?
Yeah.
And my opinion is, it was just too plain, too samey, doesn't bring anything to the table, right?
I'm not saying
we could nitpick it forever and stuff, but
I'm not defending it. I'm just based off looks. I just mean I like trying new stuff.
I won't disagree that it was bad, but just the fact that they can take something like that and literally just pull it and wipe it, because here's the thing: there's people who genuinely like that game, and they just wanted to play it, and they paid for it, and they should have been able to play it, and they would have if they had the ability to host private servers. They'd be playing it right now.
Keep the client live and just let people.
Doesn't matter if it's just a couple hundred people. Doesn't matter if it's just 10 people. There should be an ability to continue to play a game. How you lose goodwill from your customers because people will see that if they buy a game from you, there's a chance that it can just disappear because you're not making as much money as you wanted to from it. Yeah. Remember when they made games just for fun, and if they weren't successful, then whatever, we made a game, we had fun, people who played it have fun. Now there's companies
so much
used to be interest in the money.
Companies used to be happy for the small community of players. Even if it was very small, they'd be like, oh, you like the game? Talk to me. Let's even play it. Let's play it together. Let's talk about the game.
Yeah, they used to have a focus. What's fun? How do we make this fun? Instead, it's What's profitable?
What's money?
How can we
Like,
get
where's the
people
money?
to play this so they want to buy the microtransactions or whatever, right?
Because we're all sympathetic for the players, but I have deep sympathy for the artists behind these games as well. Especially in the case of Concord. Concord, I hate the art style in that game. It looks ridiculous. But like the graphical fidelity in that game, I remember watching some of the videos and being like, whoa, that game looks fucking good. Like, it genuinely did. That game graphically had they did something very right with that game. It looked, sometimes you'd catch it at certain angles and it looked like real life. Some of the lighting and stuff in that game was fucking like ridiculous. I remember being in Discord with my friend and I was like, wait, this game looks fucking like someone cooked. Like someone somewhere in Sony Studios cooked with with the engine and the graphics, and apparently it ran well as well and things like that.
The graphics weren't bad, but unfortunately, it was one of the few things that wasn't.
It was one of the diminishingly few things that was okay with
but
the game.
still, there was so many people who worked on so many different aspects.
Someone
and
worked on
like
that.
the people who are working on sound and the textures and the models and like a lot of these people weren't involved with the overall planning for the character design or the gameplay elements. There's so many people who worked on that game who had nothing to do with some of the most terrible things about it, right? And like these now they won't be able to like show this off, like they have to throw their portfolio of this game in the trash. I can't prove it, but I'm pretty sure that Sony executives had a lot to do with a lot of the terrible decisions because it's just a common trend that like developers aren't just left to their own whims. They have the suits come in every now and then, tell them, this is what we want you to do. We want you to do this way, and we think this would get more customers, more money if we blow, blah 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 blah, and so they definitely had a lot of meddling from Sony, which is it goes back to the whole the goodwill of the company thing. Like people will see this as not Concord failing; they'll see it as Sony failing. And they should, rightly so.
If it went free to play, I would have tried it because like I said, some of the videos sometimes I was like, this looks bad, but like I could download this for an hour and just like get a few kills. Like I would, I would have done that on Concord.
Yeah, and that would have been the power move, like be free to play, and like the terrible costumes they have, those are the defaults. The good ones, they're all in the store, right?
They're in the store.
It's like the Marvel Rivals one. They don't give the
that.
characters the most notable costumes. They give them like kind of this strange offshoot, but all the real good ones, they're all in the store. That was absolutely brilliant. Like I hate it.
I love it.
It was a brilliant move.
Yeah.
But I think you're right, Sean. We can't discount the people who like it because like games are art, and like even if 99.9% of the population thinks it's shit, there's still that 0.1% that likes it, that enjoys it, and they're not wrong, because it's art. It's all opinion, right? I mean, beauty is the eye of the beholder, and all that, whatever.
It's also, we need to emphasize, like, this initiative, Stop Killing Games, isn't about burdening developers with permanent recurring fees for all of time. Like, this is not like something they're going to have to pay for in perpetuity. This is like some amount of development cost on figuring out a way to make the game playable offline or
this
local
was part
co-op.
of Pirate Software's terrible points because we got sidetracked, but I talked about the fact that I kind of understood a little bit the vague part, but then you kind of changed my mind on that because it makes sense and it's by design, like you said. So, but is one of Pirate Software's other points, like I said, he's one of the most outspoken people about this. He's the most outspoken easily, like in terms of numbers and just his how vitriolic he is. He's definitely the most outspoken person. And one of his points was that, if you have to support live service games forever, then no one will make live service games. But that's a complete straw man. That's not stated in the movement anywhere. The opposite is stated. Ross made it abundantly clear. He wrote it down as one of his main bullet points that live service games don't have to be supported.
That's the whole point of the movement. You can even say
right.
is that they don't. Is that they're not
doing it.
Running it. They're handing it off.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the opposite of stopping. What would be them just force them to continue running it. No, it's letting people be able to run it on their own terms, right? I mean, and the thing is, they act like it's impossible, like it can't be done. And like here we are, there's so many examples of like I just gave you, that of people doing this and it being done and companies doing it and people
Yeah.
finding a way, even when companies don't want it to be done, people will find a way around it because A, it's possible, and B, they love it enough that they're able to put in the time to do that, you know?
I know I have a few viewers and listeners, like friends and family and stuff, obviously in the UK. So I will leave like the UK and I guess the EU one as well, just in case. We're not in the EU, we're not allowed to vote for that, but I'll leave both petitions in the description if you want. You should definitely go and do that if you agree with everything we said in the last like hour and 15 minutes. Obviously, if you don't,
Still going?
I believe they close at the end of July, so yeah, they'll be going for a while. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
or at least not. Maybe I don't know if it's the end of July, but they're not closed yet.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So if you're in the UK and you do agree with what we've been talking about with the preservation of game, preservation of art, and the idea of companies not stealing money illegally, then go and sign the petition.